Yeah. Did you see the South Park episode?
I did watch South Park last night. Parts of it.
Yeah. What'd you
That was
think?
good. That's great. That's great. It's over the top. Wow. I saw
I
Donald
feel like they
Trump's.
could have. I feel like it could have been funnier, but basically, the Clyde character is like a Nick Fuentes type of character. So he starts a podcast and he says a lot of anti-Semitic stuff, says a lot of anti-woman stuff, and so everyone in the school hates him. And Cartman hates him because he feels like he's stealing his. Cartman's naturally has always been like a Jew hater. And so part of the plot is Cartman attacking Clyde. But there's a moment in the show where, did you see where Cartman was acting like Charlie Kirk at the debate with like the
Actually, I think I watched a
feminists?
different episode last night than the one you sent me. I actually turned it on Paramount and watched the first episode that just popped up. It was pretty funny, but it was not
Okay,
so.
well, this one made fun of Christy Nome and Ice and shit. Like, there's a,
Okay, yeah, this one did. Maybe I fell asleep through part of it. This was making fun of Christy Noam, and her face like kept melting off
yep, this is the one.
for the new ICE
Yeah.
agent. He just wants to get his nut.
Well, part of the show is like Cartman's like up late on his laptop debating people online. And so the theme is like making fun. This is the funny thing about South Park is some of the humor actually is like really beneath the surface. So that whole part where Cartman's in bed and it looks like he's looking at porn and his mom knocks on his door and she's like, "What are you doing, honey?" And he's like yelling at college girls and debating them or whatever. It's making fun of the fact that Zoomers love these stupid celebrity debates. They're all about debates. Like you go on TikTok, there's a lot of these up and coming Zoomer personalities on both sides of the political spectrum. And
Right,
I don't know, they just love debating each other. So that's what the whole master debater thing, that was a big theme of the show.
right. They're master debaters. I'm not much of a debater. I don't like it, but I see what you're talking about.
Well, it's just the younger generation doesn't like thinking for themselves. So, but they do like personalities. So if personalities tell them something's true, that's what makes it true.
True.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I see that.
It, they also there's like this parasocial thing with these e-celebs is the narcissistic e-celebs get a huge following, but the way you can interact with them relatively easily gives you this like impression that you know them personally. So all these debates are just like battles, like one side versus the other, and you want to see your guy, beat down the other.
A Charlie
Sometimes
Kirk
it
beat
is really
down.
funny though.
A good Charlie Kirk beat down. There's nothing quite like it.
They get a lot of the small like motor details and shit correct in the episode because if you see Cartman's like playing with his hands and like messing with the water bottle and putting down the microphone in between questions, that's exactly what Charlie Kirk does. That's like a nervous tick of his. It's fucking hilarious. South Park
Um,
hasn't been funny for a while. I would say they could have made it way funnier. One of the funniest parts is when they showed JD Vance's face, and it's like the bloated face meme. There's a
oh,
lot of JD Vance memes where they impose his face on like a baby and shit like that. It's just funny. He has a baby face, so it's easy to do.
yeah, the part that got me like it really sent me was like they had a naked Donald Trump, and then up popped out a little crusty little cock. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you might be talking about the first episode.
Maybe that was a different episode, but it was the one. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I watched two. What is this?
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
I didn't see the first one. I saw the second one. I
Yeah,
saw it at the pool the other day,
that was wild.
roasting out in the sun with my kids at the pool. Yeah, I don't know how they paid billions of dollars for South Park. South Park could be way funnier. A lot of like MAGA people are pissed off because they feel like South Park didn't go hard on Biden, but now they're making fun of Trump, which is stupid. If you can't laugh at Trump, then you're a retard. If you can't laugh and you're uncomfortable with him being made fun of and criticized, like you're just probably a unthinking individual.
Oh no, I thought it was freaking hilarious.
Yeah. It's
Uh-uh.
always funny. And the Christy Nome shit was funny too.
Oh my god.
Christy Nome is just, to me, has always been off putting for some reason. I don't, there's something about her. It's just very contrived. This whole like Barbie, badass, Botox mommy girl. Like, I don't know. I don't buy it. I don't like it. I don't like when women in their 60s look like they're in their 40s. I don't trust it. I don't, as Aaron the plumber would say, I don't like that. I don't like that.
What that?
Have you
Hmm.
seen Aaron the plumber's videos?
No.
Oh
No.
man, fucking hilarious. Too many memes. Too many memes. If Voltaire lived today, he would probably commit suicide because in order to commentate culturally, he would have had to be on social media. And I feel like for him, the foibles of modern day people would rival the foibles of the Parisians. Boom, no one home.
Boom.
So that's what the episode was making fun of, this whole debate thing and why Zoomers are obsessed with political debates
I thought it was
and
pretty
clippable
interesting.
moments. It's because they can't think for themselves, so they follow personalities. That's the short end of it.
The myth of bad choices in men. This one might get a little bit more. This is an interesting topic here. The myth of bad choices in men. This flips the script on the idea that women's dating problems come from being unlucky in men. Women often blame their romantic struggles on poor judgment or bad luck in partners. Maybe some bad judgment. That could be true. In reality, many pick men who fulfill a subconscious need for hurt, drama, and eventual disappointment, self-sabotage as a lifestyle. The
So
same,
this is all about that meme where chicks complain online about how bad dating is, then guys come in and say, "Well, why don't you check your friend zone?" Or
right.
why do you discard guys that would give you commitment for Chad who pumps and dumps you? And then the conclusion everyone comes to is, well, the problem is women, but it's just that they choose bad men. And so ultimately the villain somehow is men again.
Yeah.
So the women, just their choices are bad. They can't help it. They choose
I
they
think
choose the wrong partners. They make the
we're
wrong
all
choices.
doing the same thing.
Here's a quote based on this meme. We rejected men who were going to make us wives for guys who made us single mothers. Men are not trash, but our taste of men is. There are many good guys out there. So the idea is like they choose the wrong men. But my argument is I think a lot of women choose the right men.
I
That's
would agree with you.
correct. It's a matter of perspective. But I would say a lot of times women make the right decisions. They make the right mate selection decisions for what their ultimate goals and purposes in life is. And a lot of women are self-sabotaging. And a lot of women want to be miserable. There's complex reasons for that, but I mean it's
Right.
abnormal. But a
They'll get
lot
a
of
good
women
man
choose
and just
men.
self-sabotage the entire relationship.
Well, the point is a lot of women want to be disappointed, even if it's subconsciously. And so they choose the appropriate partners to achieve that goal.
Yeah.
So it's self-sabotage. And men do this too. Particularly successful men do this,
Well,
especially if they go from being low value to high value. I hate saying high value, low value, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
They're guys that are fat and suddenly get in shape, or guys that suddenly get a lot of money and get their appearance together.
Well, a lot of these,
Before they can realize their the value change in themselves, they sometimes fall prey to the wrong types of women.
yes, let me go into that a little bit. Self-sabotaging. Why? Like, I feel there's this term for it when people have been hurt deeply and traumatically, emotionally through past relationships or even parents, and they get into a new relationship, but they go back and test the waters in those areas where they've been hurt to see if it's going to happen again. They want to see how far. It's not like they actually know what they're doing, but they just can't help it. They just have to push the limit in those areas, right? To test
So
the person.
self-sabotage is
It is
doing things
self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage in the context of relationships is just doing things to destroy the relationship that is good for you, or contrary wise to continue a relationship that's bad for you,
I would argue
and
that a
it's
lot of it's
subconscious.
unintentional and subconscious, but I think the key is whether somebody can realize that they're doing that, and if that person can acknowledge and correct it, then you might have a chance, but if they just stay blind to the fact that they're doing that, then there's no hope.
Yeah, you have to recognize that you're doing it, because mostly it is subconscious, and what drives it is, so if you're in a healthy relationship that feels uncomfortable or feels new, feels different, ultimately it
Because
feels like
chaos
something you
feels
don't
familiar.
ultimately it feels like something you don't deserve, because you have voices telling you in your head that you're not good enough, and you don't feel valuable enough to, you don't feel deserved to be loved. It's like a wound or whatever. So because that's your deep held belief about yourself, all your behavior is going to be designed to prove yourself correct. So ultimately, the way that you behave is designed to prove your internal worldview correct about yourself. And if your view of yourself is someone who doesn't deserve to be loved, well, if you're in a relationship that is loving and healthy, you'll do things to sabotage it, start fights,
I'm guilty of it. I
or
mean,
talk to
listen,
other
guys and gals
people.
do it.
And so that can be a challenge, and a lot of people do that.
Yeah, I
So
would say a lot of people, men and women, because I've even done that. You know, I feel like I had like this deep insecurity, like just major trauma. Like my mom, my parents got divorced when I was what 3, but like my mom was off the scene for years, and I never really got to bond with her, and I mean, it left this huge void in me of
yeah.
massive insecurity, right? Like,
Well, divorce and especially parental abandonment, especially before the age of 6, is really traumatic. That's how people get personality disorders, honestly,
yeah,
is
I have
childhood trauma like that.
the easiest. This is what I tell everybody, and I don't follow my own advice, but do not have sex for a while. Like, I mean, honestly, and I know we talk a lot of the inverse of that is, we're talking about hooking up a lot on the show and how guys can get, you know, a lot of guys could find partners easier than they think. But in reality, honestly, if you
Well,
can't get along with
if
somebody
you
for
want to
like a
have an
month
old
with
school
no sex,
marriage,
then you can't get along with them with sex. Does that make sense?
if you want to have an old school marriage that works, then you should do what they've done throughout the ages, where you don't cohabitate, you don't have sex before marriage, you do like a courtship thing, and it's more about practical and family considerations rather than
Mm.
romance and love,
And it gives you
stupid
time
things
to
like
see each
that.
other's character defects before you get so super emotionally, spiritually, like soul tied by having tons of sex and your judgment's gone, right? It just,
Yeah, that, I mean, soul tie.
whatever, you know what I mean,
There's no such thing as meaningless sex, yeah, but I get what you're saying.
right?
I get what you're saying, dog. Yeah, most women today, what they should do is just have their dads pick their husbands. Or maybe I should make a service where I match. I guarantee I could pick better husbands than most women, for women that I barely know, than they could for themselves.
Here, son, here's your bride.
I bet you I could, and I bet you I could even find them too.
You could be a matchmaker.
I could for sure. And that's actually why, as laughable and as what it says about just how horrible dating is, like when they're doing those things in New York now, those parties where they present people on PowerPoint slides, and
Right?
it's like male friends of females, and it's like, I actually think that's more productive than online dating or blind dating, or even, what is that yeah, blind, the events where you go from table to table.
Yeah.
It's not, is it like blind dating? I don't know.
Speed dating.
Speed
Yeah.
dating. A lot of speed dating events around the country, by the way, are just filled with women and there's hardly any men. Like I remember I did one in Chicago
Really?
last year just for fun. I wanted to go see what it's like. And they let me in for free because they had hardly any guys.
That's
And
that's
it was
funny.
all like, the 30s, 40s professional women in Chicago. I was like, ugh.
How was it?
It was entertaining.
Entertaining? Was it fun?
It, it was entertaining. I mean, this is around the time I stopped dating American women completely because one of the chicks I met at this event, she was the one that I said I was the last American woman I went on a date with.
Yeah.
I met her there. So yeah.
Oh, at the speed date?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Yeah. She's
Begin.
the one that told me her marriage failed because they tried an open marriage and then she
Mm.
fucked a bunch of dudes and her husband didn't like it. I'm like, my gosh, man, even these girls that look somewhat reasonable and chaste is not a good word to expect these days, but like it's just like, damn, man. I was like, I'm done. I need to go find a girl in a village near
Yeah.
Guadalajara.
Life isn't short. You just waste it.
Okay, so that's the Stoic philosopher.
Hmm. Nietzsche, create your own values, live so fully you'd repeat it forever. Wow. Heidegger,
Okay,
Heidegger, authentic life comes from facing your own mortality and living as you, not they.
okay,
Hmm.
interesting. Haven't read much of Martin Heidegger, but he wrote a famous book called Being in Time. This is
Being in
interesting.
time.
It's just about finding
This
purpose,
is
I
very
guess.
interesting.
Yeah. So Seneca was a philosopher and he was a tutor, actually, to one of the Roman emperors. So he was a big Stoic philosopher, like Marcus Aurelius, who was an emperor himself. And Stoic philosophy is a lot about just inner peace, about things you can't control. But I guess this is about finding purpose. And
Right?
he's saying don't waste time. So you assign your time. Yeah. Well, the other thing is like Aristotle too, as well, was big on routines. So time is about assigning jobs to your time. So having a routine.
Having a routine. We've been talking about this.
So having a routine is very important because then you uncouple how you feel or, any subjective feelings from what you're supposed to do. You pre-plan what you're supposed to do and you just do it at a set time.
Right?
So,
And once you get out of a routine, it can be really hard to get back into it. I mean, I'm a great example of that because of my work
um,
schedule and the way the work flows. I mean, we have seasonal work. So, like, when I get out of season, it's really hard to get on a different routine. And I
yeah,
pay the
it is
price for it
important though.
in every way, like mentally and emotionally, just whatever in my, mental health.
It is important though.
Wow.
Just have Chat GPT make you a daily routine and adjust it.
How about Grok?
Whatever. Doesn't matter. The idea is just to do something consistent. It's just the routine is not so much about what you do. It's more about in the beginning phases whether you can do it or not. So it's
Mhm.
about training your mind to engage in activities even when it's painful and when you don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
That's the only way to be really productive is you have to constantly fall back on routines. That's more important today than ever before because like I said, we have social media that's designed to destroy our attention span. So our environment destroys constantly our neurochemical circuits involved in maintaining attention. So we can't, rely purely on dopamine and how we feel. We have to rely on a schedule. I mean, it's just 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. You do this specific type of work. You do your writing or your
Right.
reading or whatever, and that's what you do. And then at 10:30, you do something different. And at 11 o'clock, you go to the gym. And that way, you don't feel like doing it, but after you've done it for 3 or 4 weeks consistently, you do it simply because it's so uncomfortable not to, because you're habituated to it. That's how you get success, is by planning work and assigning assigning jobs to your time.
Right. No, you're right. Absolutely. We gotta you gotta stay busy. I think, it's like if you don't have a routine, I mean, you just need to be doing something. Like you said, it's not always exactly important what you're doing, but like the fact that you're just doing something. I think we're meant to be busy, like we're created to work and be busy.